Hey guys, I'm BMOC. You're now tuned into BMOC.TV. Today I want to talk about the brand new album from hip hop royalty Dr. Dre called Compton, a soundtrack by Dr. Dre. It was just released last night on Apple Music, the streaming service, and iTunes. It's Apple exclusive. You know, Dr. Dre has the whole Beats deal with Apple, so they're keeping it in-house. And this album came about because he said in an interview that he was inspired by the movie coming out, Straight Outta Compton, the N.W.A. biopic. He was inspired to do brand new music, which we are thankful for. Thank you so much for that. And I want to kind of get into what I really loved about the album. So the track opens up with the intro, kind of like a throwback news reporter talking about Compton, how, you know, black families are moving in, and it's supposed to be this big project where you had people who have the higher middle class moving in, but it became an extension kind of the inner cities based upon like the economic conditions. So it was great to kind of just outlining that as the beginning of the story. Then the first song, Talk About It, just like, it's like West Coast trap. The snare transitions is from a producer ear, just hearing like the transitions and the switch ups, how the beat like stutters is crazy. It's kind of like Dre's version of kind of what's going on right now on music. I wasn't too hip so much on King Mess and Justice. Hope I'm saying their name right. I wasn't too like hip to their catalog, but they fit the track perfectly. Like, it's really cool of Dre to have an album like this, kind of like his swan song, his last, maybe not, his last album he says he's putting out, to have the first official song be these two guys that are kind of like a little unknown maybe to the rest of the nation. So it's just a good look. He's just really pretty much basing it off of their rap skills and what they could bring to the track, which was dope. Then we get into Genocide, that features Kendrick Lamar, you know, fire as always, and Marsha Ambrosius. Hopefully I'm saying her name right. I was calling her Marsha Ambrosia for like 3 years. Nobody corrected me. Again, why would you not correct me if you know I'm saying her name wrong? But anyways, Kendrick and Marsha on it. They make such a dope collaboration. Marsha always sounds dope on Dre's tracks. So I saw the track listing. She was on like 4 or 5 songs. I'm like, perfect. We need more. But you know, dope song, great follow-up. Also love the beatbox breakdown at the end of that song. Just again, so super artistic from a producer standpoint. Love it. Then we get into It's All On Me, one of my favorite beats. Just like the soulfulness and the pianos, it's crazy. BJ the Chicago Kid's up there. Justice is up there as well. Just a dope soulful track that we expect from Dre. Just love it. Instrumental wise, song concept rise, talking about, you know, the pressures of things being on you and pushing through that and not letting people down. It's a great message. It's realistic. It's dope. It's relatable. Really like that. Also could have heard Nate Dogg on this. It's kind of remind you that Nate Dogg isn't here with us anymore. Rest in peace. And I'm sure Dr. Dre probably would have put him on this track if he was still alive, but it's still a really solid song. Then we get into All in a Day's Work, that only type of living I know. The bass line is super ill. Like, I would love to hear like a live band replay this. It's dope. Anderson .Paak, it's 2 A's, I don't know how to say it right. Anderson .Paak, yeah, I don't know. And he steals the show on this. It's his vocals, his energy, like the funkiness is dope. Marsha's also up there. You know, she's providing support in the back, but it's just a solid track. Then we get into Dark Side, which King Mez really comes in with like such a dope delivery. Like, he's really in pocket. I'm loving like the complex, the word patterns, how they bounce off each other is really cool. I also love the transition, how it goes into Gone. It's pretty much both of those songs, Dark Side and Gone's on the same track together. It's kind of like 2 songs that are kind of combined. So when it transitions to Gone, it's super ill. I love the piano melodies. That's what I was looking for. With a Dre track, I'm always looking for that, like that steady snare, like that. And then just those stuck pianos and how it goes. And it's just dope. Kendrick and Marsha again blessing the track. We need a whole album just of Dr. Dre, Marsha, and Kendrick, and it's gonna be a top seller. Next we get into Loose Cannons featuring Cole 187 and Exhibit. Cole 187 is the first time I've heard of him. Sounds cool, sounds great, but the part the special part of the song is when the second half beat switches and Exhibit just like murders that. You know, a lot of people don't give Exhibit props. I don't think he was ever officially signed to Dre or Aftermath, but they really worked heavily together on previous projects. Exhibit's voice always sounds really, really great on those Dre songs. I would love to hear them do more stuff. Maybe if Exhibit comes back around, Dre can do some more tracks. Then we get to one of the heavy trump bangers of the album, Issues, which features Ice Cube. Ice Cube in this track, it sounded like 93, 94 Ice Cube. Like he sounds like he's just like really starting his solo career. Like kills it. Dre kills it. And by the way, Dre's been killing all the tracks. I haven't been mentioning Dre because you know Dre, he's a producer slash rapper. We don't look for Dre to be like this superior MC, Kingpin, triple entendre. We don't expect that from Dre. We know he's a producer. We know we have people write his rhymes. We've put him in that category. So Dre does what he does. But Dre sounds great. All these tracks and down, you can tell he really put his heart energy into delivery, into producing the best vocals he can for himself. So them together, hearing them together on the track like that, just really feels nostalgic in a good way. So good job. Then we get to Deep Water, which is probably the best beat on the album. Right now, I've only heard the album like 5 times, but I think Deep Water is probably in the running for being the best beat on the album. Hands down, to me, just to me in my opinion, this is probably the best Kendrick verse on this album. Some people are saying Kendrick's like maybe taking shots at Drake or something like that. I don't know. I really wasn't really thinking about him dissing anybody. I didn't really hear that. Maybe, you know, these people are kind of reaching a little bit regarding that, I don't know, but Kendrick is on fire. And after that, we get into One Shot Kill featuring John Connor and Snoop Dogg. No, it's not Uncle Snoop, it's not singing Snoop, this is Snoop Doggy Dogg. This is rolling down the street. This is, you know, my mind on my money and my money on my mind, Snoop. And John Connor is dope. Actually, I haven't heard a lot of his music. I know he signed with Dre a while ago, and I haven't really kind of been on his music, but hearing him on this album, I'm like, I've been sleeping. I gotta listen to John Connor. I gotta check out some of his previous catalog, and I hope they put out some new music soon. I'm just loving the energy, loving the vibe. He definitely seems like he's next up in the Aftermath camp, so looking forward to hearing more from him. Then we get to one of the tracks that I was anticipating. When I saw the track listing, I was like, it would be great if Dre and Game could just cook up something soon for Game's album. But now he's on this album. So Game's verse is one of the best verses on the album. Like, period. It's one of the best verses. Aside from Kendrick's and Eminem's, which we'll get to that later, Game probably is in the running for having one of the top 3 verses on his album. He delivers. He just sounds so at home on Dre's tracks, man. Like, they gotta stop playing. They gotta stop playing around. We need a full Dre and Game album. Like, just stop the games. Let's just get back to it and do that. But dope track. Also, Asia Bryant. I didn't know who she was before this track. She is dope. The way she was harmonizing and layering, she's a beast. I don't know if she's on Aftermath or not or whatever, but I gotta definitely check out some of her stuff as well. I love just her fresh vocals. It reminds me a lot of some like the 90s girl groups types of vocals, which is great. We need some of that back. So Asia Bryant, you know, you did your thing on that. So kudos. Then we get into For the Love of Money. Hey, for the love of money. Jill Scott on a Dr. Dre track. Do I even have to like explain how cool that is? Jill Scott, legendary. Oh, her new album is dope too, so go get that. Woman, #1 in the country, go get that. But she just does her thing. I never really expected them to kind of work together, but when I heard it, I'm like, this makes perfect sense. Then after that, we get into Satisfaction. Not Satisfaction, but Satisfaction. Some of y'all out there faking. Y'all faking the funk. This song to me is like a modern day like G-Funk sound. You know, the G-Funk sound I kind of put Dre on. I'm loving like the sample in the back. I don't know what sample that is. I don't know if it's something that they took from a previous song, or maybe somebody's like talking through an effect and they're just copying and looping that song through the track. But whatever it is, that track is banging. Like, you gotta want to be in the car playing that and riding with it. So dope, solid. After that, we get into a track called Animals. It's co-produced by DJ Premier. The piano loops, like, this is what I was looking for. Like, the piano loops in this song and just how the structure is, like, come on. Like, you know, I could have heard, you know, it's the only, I guess, The only thing I would say about this album that maybe I would have liked to see is 50 Cent on a song. He's one of the people that Dre really worked with and kind of set up, so unfortunately he's not on the album. But if he was on a song, I would have picked 50 Cent to be on this song. Just his cadence, like that old 50 Cent cadence with the song, would have been golden. Then we get into Medicine Man. Now when I looked at the track listing at first and only saw Eminem on one song, I was like, man, that's, you know, kind of crazy. You know, him and Dre have this legendary history. Eminem is definitely was very instrumental in Aftermath being what it is now. Like, let's not even front. Eminem is the biggest artist that Dr. has had. So I was expecting maybe more songs, but with this verse, he made up for it. Like, this is probably the best Eminem verse I've heard in a while. Like, Eminem is no joke. Like, Eminem showing y'all, like, listen, I don't rap on all the modern day commercialized beats or whatever, but I can do this. And his verse is crazy. Again, probably the best Eminem verse I've heard in the past few albums from him. And then the last track of the album is called Talking to My Diary. Dr. Dre really just being introspective and kind of giving his, again, swan song, the conclusion of the album, which is dope. So overall, I really enjoyed this. And after every listen, I enjoyed it even more. Like, after the first listen, I was like, yeah, this is cool. And the second listen, I was like, this is hot. And the third listen, I was like, this is ringing. Like, this is a really, really dope, solid project from Dr. Dre. So now I want to hear your opinions of it. Tell me what you think in the comments. Am I tripping? Is this not a great piece of art? Yeah, it's not Chronic 2001. It's not The Chronic. It's none of that. It's just a brand new music to listen to. You know, it may not be better than the last album you heard from Dre over a decade ago, but it's still pretty good music, so in my opinion. But if you hated it, if you loved it, please put it in the comments, let me know. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. I post new videos every week. You can chat with me at youtube.com/BMOCTV. Please subscribe, or BMOC.TV. Also, feel free to join our poppin' Facebook group. We have something really special coming up. A lot of people in the Facebook group is at facebook.com/groups/BMOCTV. I'm BMOC. Peace.